Hello guys, welcome to our session. This session, so under our revision program, so we are discussing each of the topic, and we are revising the theoretical concepts, as well as we are discussing some kind of past paper questions to give you some insights on how we can apply our theory understanding to the given scenario, right? So as an extension to our theory discussion, today we are going to discuss about another important concept in your syllabus, which is throughput accounting. Today we are going to discuss about throughput accounting, right? So I hope you have learned throughput accounting maybe in some kind of theory class or in your previous studies, whatever. So the very first thing you need to understand when it comes to throughput accounting, you should think from the perspective of throughput. That's the main point, because in traditional management accounting techniques, we have thought of kind of total cost, fixed cost, likewise various concepts. So these concepts are kind of we are going to do some kind of changes to these concepts, and we are going to think from a new perspective under throughput accounting. Therefore, it's very important to understand the concept of throughput accounting with a new mindset. Alright. So, in order to understand the concept of throughput accounting, the very first thing you need to understand is what is mean by throughput. What is mean by throughput? In throughput accounting, we can identify throughput in this way. It is sales or sale revenue minus direct material cost. Right? So under throughput accounting, this is the most important thing you need to understand. This is the most important thing you need to understand. Under throughput accounting, we recognize throughput as sales revenue minus direct material. Right? So this is the main factor that we are going to use in throughput accounting to maximize profit, right? In throughput accounting, we are calculating throughput or throughput contribution as sales revenue minus direct material cost. So in throughput accounting, we are assuming that we can maximize profit. Okay, I am not going to give you an over understanding about each and every theoretical aspect, because it's not possible within the given limited time. So but I am going to give you a kind of overall contextual understanding. Okay, but I am going to give you some brief overview. එතකොට throughput accounting වලදී තේරුම් ගන්න ඕන දේ පළවෙනිම දේ තමයි throughput කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? So throughput is sales revenue minus direct material cost. So when it comes to this throughput accounting principle or this philosophy, we assume that we can maximize the profit of a business by maximizing this throughput. This is the main thing you need to understand. In throughput accounting, in throughput philosophy, what we are focusing is our throughput is equal to sales revenue minus direct material cost. We don't take into account the other cost like direct labor cost, direct other cost or variable overhead, whatever the other cost, we will keep them aside. We are focusing only on this sales revenue minus direct material cost as throughput. Please keep in mind. So the objective is to maximize this throughput, then it will lead to the profit maximization. So this is the overall understanding under throughput accounting level. Throughput accounting වල overall understanding එකකට තියෙන්න ඕන දේ තමයි අපි throughput එක කියලා දෙයක් ගන්නවා. throughput කියන එකේ අදහස තමයි throughput කියන එකත් ගන්නෙ sales revenue minus direct material cost කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මොන හරි භාණ්ඩයක් හදන්න අපිට ඕන කරන material වලට යන වියදමෙන් අපිට එන sales price එක අඩු වියදම sales price එකෙන් අඩු කළාට පස්සේ තමයි ළමයි throughput එක හම්බ වෙන්නේ. අපි මේ philosophy එකේදී assume කරනවා අපිට profit එක maximize කරන්න පුළුවන් කොහොම කරලාද? We can maximize profit by maximizing this throughput. ඒ කියන්නේ පුළුවන් තරම් අපි මේ භාණ්ඩ හද විකුණන්න ඕනේ. So in theory it is mentioned that we can maximize the profit by maximizing the throughput, right? So what about the other cost? In throughput principle we are assuming all other cost that including all other cost in the sense it can be our labor cost, direct labor cost, as well as overhead cost, manufacturing overhead cost. All other costs are assumed to be constant. අනිත් සියලුම පිරිවැයන් ළමයි ස්ථාවරයි. කෙටි කාලයේදී in short term we assume that all other costs are constant. Therefore please keep in mind all other costs are constant. As a result the way that we are having to maximize profit is to maximize the throughput. If there are opportunities for us to reduce this other cost, maybe direct labor cost or maybe factory overhead cost, yes, we should do that. But in short term we assume that all these costs are constant and together we call them as total factory cost. Total factory cost. මෙන්න මේ cost එක වලට ළමයි අපි කියනවා total factory cost. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි කියනවා operating expenses. These are the basic things you need to keep in mind when it comes to throughput accounting, right? These are the basic things that you should know when it comes to throughput accounting. Okay, so I will revise again. When it comes to throughput accounting, always we are recognizing throughput as sales revenue minus direct material cost. That is the very first thing you need to understand. So in throughput accounting, our motive is to maximize throughput because we believe that we can maximize our profit by maximizing the throughput. At the same time, we assume that all other costs, including labor cost as well as overhead cost, all other costs remain constant in short term. කෙටි කාලයේදී ළමයි අනිත් වියදම් ඔක්කොම ස්ථාවරව තියෙන බව තමයි throughput accounting වලදී අපි assume කරන්නේ. ඒ වියදම් වලට අපි නමක් කියනවා total factory cost or operating expenses. So this assumption is somewhat realistic. In traditional management accounting we assume that labor cost is variable, but you know when it comes to practical situation most of the time the workforce which are directly contributing to the manufacturing of our products, they have a fixed salary. Therefore this labor cost is assumed to be constant irrespective of the level of activity, and it can be argued as a valid or more or less realistic assumption, right? ඒක realistic assumption එකක් කියලා ළමයි කෙනෙක්ට argue කරන්න උනත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මොකද ඒක සාමාන්‍ය අපිට දකින්න පුළුවන් දෙයක්, right? So this is the main thing you need to understand under this throughput accounting. Okay, so in throughput accounting you have to understand first what is mean by throughput, and then the next thing is you need to understand how you can maximize your profit. It is simply by maximizing the throughput, because when it comes to other cost, we call them as total factory cost or operating expenses. So those costs are assumed to be constant in short term. කෙටි කාලයේදී අනිත් වියදම් ස්ථාවරව තියෙනවා කියලා අපි උපකල්පනය කරනවා, right? Now this is the basic thing you need to understand in the context of throughput accounting. So our main focus in throughput accounting is to do what? Our main focus is to maximize the throughput. Maximize throughput. So this is our main focus. But when we are going to maximize the throughput, there is a challenge for us. There can be a challenge for us. What is that? Can we manufacture whatever the amount of product that we can sell? That's the point we are having. Although we want to maximize the throughput, in order to maximize the throughput, it is very clear that we have to increase our production. But the thing is, if we try to increase our production, there can be some limiting factors. there can be some limiting factors that limit our production. There can be some limiting factors, maybe for example, just assume you have a product called product X, and this product X can be sold in market without great effort, like you can sell maybe 100,000 to 200,000 units within a month. හිතමු 100,000 units විකුණන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ළමයි X කියන product එකෙන්. හැබැයි ඔයාට ඒක manufacture කරන්න ඕන කරන labor resource එක limited. ඔයාට available labor resource එක ගත්තාම ළමයි manufacture කරන්න පුළුවන් units 60,000ක් විතරයි. Just you can manufacture only 60,000 units. Therefore, there is a limiting factor. So, in throughput accounting, we call this as bottleneck resource. We call this as bottleneck resource. We call this as what? We call this as bottleneck resource. Okay. So, this is the basic point you need to understand under throughput accounting. We are going to maximize the throughput because we are understanding that it is the main way of maximizing our profit. But once we try to maximize the throughput, the issue is we have a resource limitation. So probably we have to identify a kind of resource that restrict our production. We call that resource as bottleneck resource. So in throughput accounting questions, most probably you may have to identify this bottleneck resource. Based on this, we have to make various decisions. Especially in a context where you are manufacturing several products, and based on the availability of resources, you may not be able to manufacture each and every product. Therefore, you may have to do a kind of prioritization, and how you are going to do this prioritization is dependent on the return that you are earning based on this bottleneck resource. මේ bottleneck resource එකකට අදාළව ළමයි ඔයා කොච්චර return එකක් ගන්නවද කියන එක අපි බලන්න ඕනේ. අන්න ඒක තමයි throughput accounting වල මේන්ම හරය වෙන්නේ. So we have to identify what is this bottleneck resource. We have to identify what is this bottleneck resource, and then what we have to do. Based on that, we have to do kind of prioritization on our production or whatever the manufacturing decisions, right? Therefore, please understand this throughput is a kind of new thinking, and also this leads to make some kind of decision in our product optimization. Therefore, you have to understand these concepts very clearly. I just gave you a kind of what we call overall understanding. So we are going to understand this throughput accounting further using some kind of question, right? Some kind of question. So I am not going deep into theoretical areas. You may have learned those things. So in this revision session, as I explained previously, we are going to understand this with some kind of past paper question, right? Okay, and also before moving to the past paper question, I want to highlight one thing in your syllabus as well. So this throughput accounting mechanism is good for organizations which are especially focusing on JIT environment as well, JIT approach, just in time approach, because it is linked with that. And also you may have to understand that there are some performance measures under throughput accounting which I am not going to discuss at this moment, but I will rather explain it with some kind of our past paper questions, right? So these are the basic concepts you need to understand. You have to understand what is throughput. You have to understand how we are going to maximize profit with the throughput thinking. Okay. Therefore, once we are going to maximize our throughput, we will face some kind of limitations. So those limitations are called as bottleneck resources. Those limitations are called as bottleneck resources. Those are the aspects that you need to understand basically under throughput accounting, right? So let's try to understand this throughput accounting concept with some kind of past paper question. So I have selected the past paper question in order to understand this throughput accounting. So okay. So this is this is 2024 June paper. This is June 2024. Question number 2. Question number 2. June 2024. Question number 2. So I hope you have basic idea about throughput accounting in your mind now. Okay. So now we are going to understand. This concept of throughput accounting using this past paper question. Be very careful and listen to me very carefully. Right. See, Glamour Private Limited (GPL) operates as a well-established hairdressing salon offering a comprehensive range of services including haircuts and hair treatments. This is very important. Now this company is a kind of I think salon. Okay. දැන් මේ කියන ආයතනය ළමයි salon එකක්. ඒ කියන්නේ salon සම්බන්ධ සේවා සපයන ආයතනයක්. You know. So they are offering a comprehensive range of services including haircuts and hair treatments for its valued clientele. So they are providing basically two types of products actually, two types of services. One is haircuts and the other one is hair treatment. Those are the services offered by this GPL, right? Each customer who visits the salon has to follow a structured process, starting with the hair wash done by a salon assistant. Okay. Now every client who visits this place has to go through a kind of structured process. ඒ කියන්නේ හරියට structure කරපු process එකක් හරහා තමයි client ලට මේ service එක මෙයාලා offer කරන්නේ. That's good. ඒ හැම service එකක්ම start වෙන්නේ ළමයි client ලගේ hair wash කරලාලු. hair එකට wash කරලා කොණ්ඩේ හොදලා. So that is the basic thing. Right? දැන් මේ ඔළුවට දා ගන්න ඕනේ. These are the important point. Subsequently, a senior designer, then salon assistant තමයි කොණ්ඩේ හොදන්නේ. Then subsequently a senior designer takes over, who is responsible for hair cutting or hair treatment. These are the two services tailored to the customer's specific need. Okay, customer's specific need, we are offering the service. Finally, see how the labor is utilized. Junior who is it is done by sales salon assistant is doing the hair washing, then senior designer is taking care of the hair cutting or hair treatment, and finally a junior designer takes care of hair drying. The current salon staff is fixed. There is a fixed staff, details given below, and there are no immediate plans to increase the workforce. At present our salon doesn't have any kind of plan to increase the workforce. That's the point we need to understand. See the current workforce, they have given us the current workforce in the question. Salon assistant, there are 4 persons, right? Senior designer 5 persons, junior designers 3 persons. Now this is our labor resource. See, this is our labor resource. Then it is mentioned the average length of time spent with the customer by each member of staff and their monthly salaries are as follows. Then they have given us how our resources are utilized. See how salon assistant are utilizing time for haircut, how salon assistant are utilizing time for hair treatment. Likewise, they have given us some kind of information how each of the labor time is utilized for each of the product. We do have 2 products නේ. අපිට products දෙකක් තියෙනවා ළමයි. hair cut සහ hair treatment. ඊළඟට මේ hair cut සහ hair treatment කියන දෙකටම අපේ ඉන්නවා 3 types of labor force. අපේ ශ්‍රමිකයෝ වර්ග 3ක් ඉන්නවා. ඒ වර්ග 3 කොහොමද දායක වෙන්නේ කියලා අපිට තොරතුරු දීලා තියෙනවා. Right. Then in addition to that their monthly salary has also been provided. Their monthly salary has also been provided, right? Then it is mentioned the cost of cleaning product used in washing of hair is 200 per customer. For hair washing we have to use some kind of cleaning product, maybe shampoo or something. The cost per wash is 200. The cost of all additional material applied during a hair treatment is rupees 4,000 per customer. When it comes to hair treatment, we may have to use some kind of additional material. I don't know what are the additional material because I am not an expert in that field. Especially girls may know, right? But the thing is, they are using some additional material for what? For hair treatment. That is a product, hair treatment, and the cost is 4,000 per customer. Other cost in operating the salon, excluding labor and raw material. Raw materials are labor natural. Other cost is amounting to rupees 7.5 million each year. The salon operates 200 hours a month. This salon operates 200 hours a month. So these are the information details that have been provided to us. You have to carefully understand these details, right? Then it is mentioned lamai GPL charges rupees 5,000 for each haircut and rupees 20,000 for each hair treatment. These are the details related to pricing. Then it is mentioned the time of the senior designer. See, the time of the senior designer has been identified as a bottleneck activity. This is the most interesting point. Now, when I am revising the very basic points of throughput accounting, I mentioned to you, I explained you that we have to maximize throughput in order to maximize profitability of per business, but we have a challenge to maximize throughput because there can be resource limitation, and one of those resources can be a bottleneck resource. Bottleneck resource එකක් කියන්නේ ළමයි මොකක් හරි එක resource එකක්. දැන් bottleneck එකක් කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? For example, now I do have a bottle here. So if we take the bottleneck, it's here. Although we do have some volume of water here, we can't pass all water at once because of this bottleneck is kind of small. Bottleneck එක බෝතලේ කර කුඩා නිසා ළමයි බෝතලය ඇතුලේ තියෙන වතුර ඔක්කොම එකපාර අපිට එළියට යවන්න බෑනේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ ආයතනයකත් මොන පරිමාණයක් තිබ්බත් සමහරවිට මොකක් හරි එක රිසෝස් එකක් නිසා එයාලට යන්න පුළුවන් පුල්ම ප්‍රොඩක්ෂන් වොලියුම් එකට යන්න බැරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අන්න එහෙම යන්න බැරි වෙන්න හේතුවක් වෙන සාධකයට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ bottleneck resource කියලා. දැන් මේ ක්වෙස්චන් එකේ අපිට ක්ලියර්ලි කියනවා එයාලගේ bottleneck resource එක විදිහට එයාලා අයිඩෙන්ටිෆයි කරගෙන තියෙන්නේ මේ කියන කවුද? Senior designer කියලා. Senior designers, the time of the senior designers have been identified as the bottleneck resource. So these are the given information. Now see what is the requirement. The very first requirement is explain why senior designers time has been identified as the bottleneck activity with relevant calculation. Now we have to explain why this senior designers time have been identified as bottleneck resource. I mean senior designers lage time එක ළමයි bottleneck resource එක විදිහට identify කරගෙන තියෙන්නේ කියලා explain කරන්න කියලා කියනවා. එහෙනම් ඇත්තම කතාව තමයි දැන් මෙතන we do have various resources නේ. So when it comes to material, they are not talking about any bottleneck. They are not talking about any limitation. When it comes to any other kind of facilities, they are not talking about any limitation. But when it comes to labor, they are talking about some kind of available labor hours, and they are mentioning that they don't have any plan to increase their workforce. Therefore, definitely the bottleneck resource should be within the workforce ළමයි. Bottleneck resource එක මේ question එකේ කියන විදිහට තියෙන්න ඕනේ workforce එක ඇතුලේ. හැබැයි ඊළඟට තව step එකක් ඉස්සරහට ගිහිල්ලා අපිට question එකේ කියනවා මේ bottleneck resource එක කාගෙද තියෙන්නේ? Senior designers ලගේ time එකේ කියලා. question එකේ අපෙන් අහනවා අපිට explain කරන්න කියලා ඇයි senior designer ගේ time එක bottleneck resource එකක් වෙන්නේ. So that's the point we have to explain with calculation. In other words, you have to do some calculation and justify. You have to do some calculation and justify that senior designers time is the bottleneck resource. That's the thing. How can we do that? So let's try to do this. So okay, so now we are going to solve this question. So it is 2024 June question. 2024 June Question number 2. 2024 June, question number 2. Right? So the very first thing we have to justify in this question, we have to justify why senior designer's time is the bottleneck resource. Now you have to think. Then senior designer के time එක නම් bottleneck resource එක වෙන්නේ. දැන් තව designers ලා තව labor types දෙකක් තියෙනනේ. ඇයි එයාලා bottleneck නොවෙන්නේ කියලා ඔයාලට justify කරන්න වෙනවා. You have to justify. How can we do? So we are dealing with their time. We are dealing with their time. So we have to see how much time is available for us in respect of each labor category. In respect of each labor category, right? So first I will take the total available time. In order to do this computation, first I am going to take the total available labor time. How can I take this? First I have to take the category of employee. I will take the category of employee. Then what I have to do? Then I have to take the employee count. I will take in this way. I will take employee count. Okay. In addition, in the question, if you can remember, it has been mentioned that they do have a operating time. Okay. So operating hours per month. So I will take in this way, operating time per month. Operating time per month, right? Operating time per month. Then we can take the total available time. Now please understand how I am approaching. Please understand how I am approaching. Now in the question you have to understand always bottleneck. When a bottleneck is occurring, කොහොමද මේ bottleneck එකක් ඇති වෙන්නේ කියලා හිතන්න ඕනේ. bottleneck එකක් ඇති වෙන්නේ ළමයි හැම වෙලේම ඔයාට කොච්චර resources ටිකක් ඕනේද සහ ඔයාට කොච්චර resources තියෙනවද. ඔය දෙක අතර gap එකක් තියෙනවා නම් තමයි හැම වෙලේම bottleneck එක limited resource එකක් ඇති වෙන්නේ. ඒ limited resources වලිනුත් මොනවා හරි දැන් example එකක් විදිහට හිතන්න XYZ කියලා resources තුනක් තියෙනවා. X සහ Y පාවිච්චි කරලා ඔයාට ඒකක 5000ක් හදන්න ඕන කරන XY කියන resources තියෙනවා. හැබැයි Z කියන resource එකෙන් ඔයාට හදන්න Z කියන resource එක ඔයාට තියෙන්නේ ඒකක 2000ක් විතරක් හදන්න ප්‍රමාණවත් ප්‍රමාණයක්. ඒක නිසා X සහ Y වලින් 5000ක් හදන්න පුළුවන් වුණාට Z කියන resource එකෙන් හදන්න පුළුවන් 2000ක් විතරක් නිසා ඔයාගේ monthly production එක ළමයි 2000කට සීමා වෙනවා. අන්න ඒක තමයි bottleneck resource එක කියන්නේ. එහෙනම් දැන් ඔයාලට බලන්න වෙනවා එක එක category එකෙන් අපිට ඉස්සෙල්ලා කොච්චර time එකක් available ද කියලා. We have to see how much time it is available for us. So as per the question, there were 3 types of labor. The first one is salon assistant. Salon assistant. Right? The second category is senior designer. I am taking this extra from question, okay? Senior designer. And also there was junior designer. These are the category. These have been provided in the question. Junior designer. Junior designer. Right. So in the question it has been given. You can see salon assistant, senior designer, junior designer. And also they have given us the number of persons. Salon assistant 4. Senior designer 5, junior designer 3. So you can substitute this into our count column, right? You can substitute this into our count column. When it comes to sales assistant, we do have 4 salon assistant. When it comes to senior designer, we do have 5 senior designers and we have 3 junior designers, right? So these are the count of each employee. Then we have to see the operating hours. Then we have to see the operating hours. See, in the question it is mentioned clearly, in this para, the final sentence, the salon operates 200 hours a month. 200 hours a month. So this salon is operating 200 hours a month. So the information has been provided in monthly terms, so we will use the same terms to our computation as well. Please keep in mind, in questions there can be monthly details, annual details, quarterly details, so we have to transform these detail into one form. So I think in this question it is easy for me to use the monthly terms in order to arrive at my answer. Alright, so now I am going to my computation. As per the question, operating time per month is 200 hours. Okay, so we can assume that each and every employee is operating this 200 hours, and let's assume that there are no leaves and everything, because in the question they are not telling anything about leave and all the stuff, so we can clearly assume that the employees are not taking any leaves. Okay, good employees. Right, now can't you calculate the available time for each employee category? දැන් salon assistant ගත්තාම 4 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා. ඒ 4 දෙනාම පැය 200 ගානේ වැඩ කරනවා. එහෙනම් what is the total man hour? You can multiply 4 by 200. Then it is 800 hours. So we are taking this as hours, right? It is 800 hours. When it comes to senior designers, we do have 5 senior designers, and each designer is working for 200 hours. So how many hours in total our senior designers are working? 5 into 200, it is 1000 hours. In the same way, you can calculate for junior designers as well. We do have 3 junior designers, each working 200 hours per month. So the total junior designer time is 3 into 200, which is 600 hours. So this is the total availability in respect of each category. Okay, then මෙන්න මේක තමයි පළවෙනි approach එක ළමයි. ඔයා throughput accounting වලදී බලන්න ඕනේ මොකක් හරි resource එකක් bottleneck එකක්ද නැද්ද කියලා බලනකොට the very first thing you need to see is you have to evaluate how many availability, how is the availability. Now we are done with the availability. Then we have to see our kind of production capacity, right? Based on this availability, we have to see our manufacturing capability. That is the second step. Now first, as the first step we took the total resource availability. Now in the second step, what you can do? In the second step you can take the production capability under the available resources. Okay, so I am now going to take the production capability. These are the terms that I am using for the easiness of what you call explanation. Okay, production capability. Right, production capability. As per the question, we do have two products. One is what? We do have two products. One is haircut. As per the question, we do have two products. One is haircut. එකක් තමයි කොණ්ඩේ කපන එක. The other one is hair treatment. Kind of various hair treatments are there, no? The second product is hair treatment. Right. Now in order to perform haircut, we need 3 labor types, and also for performing haircut also we need 3 categories of labor. Then අපිට haircut එකක් කරන්නත් hair treatment එකක් කරන්නත් ළමයි මේ වර්ග තුනේම labor category අවශ්‍යයි. That is a must. හැබැයි අපි දැන් බලන්න ඕන දේ තමයි මේ එක කැටගරියට මාසයක් ඇතුලේ කොච්චරකට contribute වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? Okay, කොච්චර production capacity එකට contribute වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක තමයි the next point we are going to do, right? For that, the very first thing I am starting with the first type of category is salon assistant. No? So first I am starting with salon assistants. Right? First I am starting with salon assistant. So I have to, first I am taking time spent by the salon assistant. time spent by salon assistant, or rather, since we have taken the heading, we don't need to write salon assistant again, no? Time spent per client. දැන් මුලින්ම බලන්න ඕන දේ තමයි ළම දැන් මෙතන මම බලන්නේ salon assistant කෙනෙක් එයාගේ තියෙන salon assistants ලගේ available time එක අනුව එයාලට කොච්චර client ලා ගානකට serve කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියන එක මෙතනදී අපි හිතන්නේ salon assistant කෙනෙක් hair cut විතරක් කරනවා නම් කොච්චරක් එයාට client ලට serve කරන්න පුළුවන්ද ඊළඟට salon assistant කෙනෙක් hair treatment කරනවා නම් එයාට කොච්චරක් treatments කරන්න පුළුවන්ද so we are going to compute in that respect right as per the question if you look at the question in the question it has been given here per each client see the average length of time spent with the customer by each member ඒ කියන්නේ එක customer කෙනෙක්ට serve කරන්න මේ එක member කෙනෙක් ගන්න average time එක අපිට දීලා තියෙනවා hair cut එකට salon assistant කොච්චරක් ගන්නවද hair treatment එකට salon assistant කොච්චරක් ගන්නවද එහෙනම් මේක base කරගෙන ළමයි මේක base කරගෙන අපිට මොනා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද based on this we can see how many client that a salon assistant can cater during the given month that's the point you need to understand you have to understand it very carefully right so I am going to do that computation based on this given data as per the question per one client salon assistant is devoting 0.15 hours okay so this is the time spent per haircut when it comes to hair treatment a salon assistant is utilizing 0.45 hours right this is the thing now what we have to do now we have to see I will take here okay now we have to see maximum number of clients that a salon assistant can cater during a given month okay දැන් ඔයා හිතන්න ඕන දේ තමයි අපේ ඉන්න salon assistant ලා ළමයි මාසෙ පුරාවටම hair cut වලට විතරක් serve කරා නම් එයාට client ලා කී දෙනෙක්ට serve කරන්න පුළුවන්ද අපි උඩ calculate කරගත්ත ළමයි මම උඩ calculate කරා salon assistant ලගේ මාසෙකට total කොච්චර availability එකක් තියෙනවද as per the question for salon assistant the monthly availability is how many hours මාසෙකට ළමයි salon assistant ලට 800 hours තියෙනවා උඩ මම calculate කරා for in respect of salon assistant our available time is 800 hours per client we have to sacrifice 0.15 hours accordingly what will be my okay accordingly how many client that I can cater assuming that I am catering only the haircuts වලට විතරක් salon assistant ලා cater කරනවා කියන උපකල්පනයෙන් හිතුවොත් ළමයි අපිට client ලා කී දෙනෙක්ට serve කරන්න පුළුවන්ද පැය 800ක් තියෙනවා එක client කෙනෙක්ට විනාඩි පැය 0.15 යන්නේ see the answer 800 divided by 0.15 it is 5333.33 something we can't take the fraction of clients no therefore we will take the whole number 5333 so why this 5333 right in the same way you can calculate for hair treatment okay in respect of salon assistant we do have okay I will take whatever the colors I think it's difficult to interchange the color okay so in respect of I will try again anyway okay in respect of salon assistant we do have 800 hours per month In case of hair treatment, our salon assistant is sacrificing 0.45 hours. Then how many clients that salon assistants can cater during a given month, assuming that they are treating only for hair treatment. Hair treatment විතරක් කරනවා නම් ළමයි salon assistant ලට client ලා කී දෙනෙක්ට serve කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? 800 divided by 0.45, which is 1777.77 something. Let's take it as 1777. We can't have the decimal number of clients. So in the same way, you can continue this exercise for our senior designer as well as our junior designer. So I will take for senior designers. I will take this for senior designers. You can refer to the question. Okay, I am not always going to the question to take the figures since I do have a question here as well. But when you are looking at my explanation, it is better to have a paper with you so that you can see how I have extracted this data. Okay, so when it comes to senior designer, you can see, you can take time spent per client. Time spent per client. It is available in the question paper. On average, how much time a senior designer is spending to cater the client? As per the question, it is 1.10 hours in respect of haircut, and it is 2 hours in respect of hair treatment. It is available in the question. Okay, then senior designer කෙනෙක් ළමයි පැය 1.1ක් ගන්නවා hair cut එකකට, hair treatment එකකට පැය 2යි. Then we have to see maximum number of clients. Maximum number of clients that senior designers can cater during a given month, assuming that each type of the service is provided. ඒ කියන්නේ hair cut එක විතරක් කරනවා නම් ළමයි senior designers ලට hair cuts කීයක් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Question එකේ අපි උඩ explanation එකේ calculate කරා අපේ senior designers ලගේ total available time එක පැය 1000ක් කියලා. Total available time was 1000 hours. 1000 hours per client. We have to dedicate 1.1 hour. 1.1 hour. Now you can take what? 1000 divided by 1.1 means it is 909.09 something. So we will take the whole number. It is 909. Okay, senior designers ළමයි hair cut විතරක් කරනවා නම් යාලට මාසෙකට hair cut 909ක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. If they do only hair treatments, how many hair treatments they can do? They do have 1000 hours per month. Senior designers ලා ඔක්කොගෙම පැය ගාන ගත්තා පැය 1000ක් තියෙනවා ළමයි. එතකොට මේ පැය 1000 ගත්තාම එක hair treatment එකකට පැය දෙකක් යනවා. So 1000 divided by 2 means it is 500 clients. 1000 divided by 2 means it is 500 clients. It is 500 clients, right? In the same way, you can do the same exercise. You can do the same exercise for junior designers. You can do the same exercise for junior designers. Junior designers. So we will take the time spent per client. It can be directly taken from the question paper. They have given us the average time. So the time spent per client is how much? When it comes to a haircut, it is 0.6 hours. 0.6. And when it comes to hair treatment, it has been given as 1 hour. So they are doing some kind of hair drying, no? Right. Now what can you do? Now you can take the number of clients or the maximum number of clients that junior designers can serve. If they do only haircuts, how many haircuts they can do? As per the question, now in the previous we calculated what is the availability. That we would calculate කරා ළමයි. Junior designers ලා ගත්තාම 3 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා පැය 200 ගානේ වැඩ කරනවා කියන්නේ total 600 hours තියෙනවා, right? So we do have 600 hours in respect of junior designers, right? But per client in respect of haircut, they are using 0.6 hours. So then how many clients they can serve? 600 divided by 0.6, it is 1000 clients. Clients are 1000කට serve කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? So when it comes to hair treatment, if they are providing only hair treatment, these are assumptions. Hair treatment විතරක් කරනවා නම්, hair treatment විතරක් කරනවා නම් කොහොමද වෙන්නේ? පැය 600ක් තියනවා ළමයි junior designers ලගේ එක එයාලට එක client කෙනෙක්ට hair treatment කරන client කෙනෙක්ගේ කොණ්ඩේ වේලන්න පැයක් යනවලු. එහෙනම් 600 divided by 1 means they can cater 600 client. They can cater 600 client. So this is the computation. This is the computation. Okay. This is the computation. Right. Now with this computation, you can justify or you can find the bottleneck resource. Then throughput accounting question එකකදී ළමයි මේ available resources වල බලන්න ඕන දේ තමයි available resource එක ගත්තාම එක unit එකකට ඒ resource එකකින් කොච්චරක් ඕනේද ඒක base කරගෙන කොච්චරක් maximum manufacture කරන්න පුළුවන්ද එක එක product එකට ඒක base කරගෙන අපිට මොනා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද based on that we can do what based on that we can find the bottleneck resource. Now please see in this salon there is a structured process. Under this structured process, what happened? There is a structured process. We are starting with salon assistant. They are washing the hair. Then senior designers are doing either haircut or hair treatment. And finally, junior designers are doing kind of hair drying. So this is the process. Then salon assistant ළඟට එන කෙනාව අන්තිමටම ඒ කියන්නේ ඊළඟට junior designer ළඟට යවන්න බෑ. salon assistant ළඟට එන කෙනාව ළමයි අනිවාර්යෙන් senior designer ළඟට යවලා තමයි junior designer ළඟට යවන්න පුළුවන්. This is a flow. Therefore we can see the what? We can see the bottleneck. දැන් හිතන්න මාසෙකදී අපි hair cuts විතරක් කරනවා නම් හිතන්න අපේ තියෙන සම්පූර්ණ resourcesම දාලා අපි hair cuts කරන්න යන්නේ. ඔන්න client ලා ආපු ගමන් අපේ salon assistant ලා client ලා 5333කගේ කොණ්ඩේ හොදනවා. They are washing the hair of 5333 clients within a month. යාලට ඒක කරන්න resources තියෙනවා. හැබැයි කොණ්ඩේ හොදලා ළමයි senior designer ළඟට යවුව ගමන් මොකද වෙන්නේ? senior designer ට මාසෙට තියෙන time එක බලනකොට they can cater only 909 client. ඉතුරු 4000 ගානටම ළමයි ඊළඟ මාසෙ වෙනකන් ඉන්න වෙනවා. ඊළඟ මාසෙත් ඉවර කරන්න බෑ. 5333ක් එක මාසෙ කොණ්ඩේ හොදලා පටන් ගත්තොත් එහෙම මාස ගානක් යනවා. මොනවා වෙන්නද? ඒ අයගේ hair cut එක ඉවරයක් වෙන්න ළමයි. ඇයි? senior designers ලට පුළුවන් මාසෙකට 909 කොණ්ඩේ කපන්න. එතකොට මෙතනින් 5333ක් එව්වට ඒක මෙතනින් ඉස්සරහට යන්න පුළුවන්ද? බෑ. 909 monthly capacity එක. So this is the bottleneck. අපිට මෙතන ලොකු capacity එකක් තිබ්බට ඒ capacity එක මෙතනින් ඉස්සරහට යවන්න බෑ. දැන් මෙතන 1000ක් පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒ 1000 utilize කරන්නත් බෑ. මෙන්න මෙතන bottleneck එකක් හිටලා. The bottleneck is stuck here. Right? You can apply the same thing to the hair treatment as well. You can apply the same thing to hair treatment. When it comes to hair treatment, salon assistant can wash hair of 1777 client. But when they pass those clients to the next stage, what happened? Our senior designers unfortunately can cater only 500 client. දැන් මෙයාලා 1777කගේ කොණ්ඩ මාසය තුල හේදුවට කොණ්ඩේට ට්‍රීට්මන්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන් උපරිම 500කට විතරයි. ට්‍රීට්මන්ට් විතරක් කරත්. එහෙනම් මෙතනින් එන රිසෝස් 1777 මෙතනින් එළියට යවන්න බෑ. So this is the bottleneck. That's why the question suggests us that senior designers time is the bottleneck resource. That's why the question is arguing that senior designers time is the bottleneck resource. Yes, that's true. Now what can we do? Now just doing the computation is not sufficient. You have to just give us some kind of explanation based on this computation. Then you can finish this question, the part A of the question, right? Now you have to give some kind of explanation. So I will give the explanation here. Okay, I will give the explanation here. So as per the above computation, so write the answer in a nice way. As per the above computation, sorry, as per the above computation, as per the above computation, first our salon assistants can cater how many clients? It is 5,333 and 1,777 clients. 1,777 clients per month. But then මේක තමයි කතාව. But නමුත් what happens? Senior designers available time is not sufficient to cater all these clients. Hence senior designers time is recognized as the bottleneck resource. So this is the justification that you have to give. Okay, so you have to see what is the limiting factor, what is limiting our production flow, that is the bottleneck resource. What is limiting our production flow, that is the bottleneck resource. As per the question, if we are solely providing we are catering 5,333 clients. I think I made a mistake here. Not a mistake, I missed some part. Clients per month in මෙතන තව කැලලක් add වෙන්න ඕනේ per clients per month in order to clear this. Clients per month, I will take that part here. Clients per month in respect of haircut and hair treatment respectively. Haircut and hair treatment respectively. දැන් මේ wordings ම තියෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා එකක් නෑ ළමයි. මේ wordings ම තියෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා දෙයක් නෑ. ඔයා simply you have to give the idea. What you have to tell is, you have to tell we can cater this much of clients. Okay, but the thing is, in the next stage we cannot proceed because of the limited availability of time. Therefore, what we have to do? Therefore, we do have a limitation in our manufacturing or our service provision. Therefore, that's why this senior designer time is recognized as the bottleneck resource, right? So that's what you have to write down. Okay, please keep in mind, in question you have to clearly see the computation and finally give the justification. Then you will get full marks for the question, right? So let's move to the next one. Okay, so let's move to the next part of the question. This is our typically this kind of question is coming. See the part B, it has 6 marks. Assess the type of service GPL should prioritize for maximizing profitability. See, should prioritize for maximizing profitability using the throughput accounting ratio. I will explain. We have to calculate the throughput accounting ratio assuming the bottleneck activity is fully utilized. Now we do have a limitation that because of the limited senior designer time, we can't service or we can't cater all the clients. Therefore, we have to see to which client type or to which product we should give the prioritization. අපි දැන් බලන්න ඕනේ hair cuts වැඩියෙන් කරන එකද අපිට profitable, hair treatment කරන එකද profitable. So we have to see that carefully. We have to understand that carefully. ඒක තමයි මෙතනදී කියන්නේ type of service. Service means either hair cut or hair treatment we should select or we should prioritize to maximize the profitability. In throughput accounting, I informed you, I clearly taught you that in order to maximize the profitability, we have to maximize the throughput. Therefore, you have to start your computation with throughput. Okay, you have to start your contribution with throughput. So let's try to understand that. So with the given details, we can do this computation. Okay, now they are asking us to assess the type of service. So let's do the computation in respect of this. Okay, so the next thing, now they are asking us to do a kind of ranking, which product should be given the highest priority. That's the thing you need to understand, which product should be given the highest priority. That's the thing you need to understand here. Right. For that, now I am going to do the relevant computation. Please see carefully. In this kind of a situation, we have to first identify the throughput earned from each product. හැම product එකකින්ම ළමයි earn කරන throughput එක අපි calculate කරගන්න ඕනේ. Right? The very first thing we have to identify the throughput. Now we do have two products. One is haircut. And the other one is hair treatment. Haircut and hair treatment. Now we do have two products. Now as I explained you, throughput is equal to selling price minus direct material cost. In throughput accounting, we are focusing only on this, right? Now you can take the selling price. It is directly available in the question. Now you can take the selling price. So I will take I am taking per unit data. These are per unit data, right? First I am taking per unit data, right? What is the selling price of haircut? As per the question, it is mentioned the selling price of haircut is 5,000 rupees, whereas the selling price of hair treatment is how much? I think it is 20,000 something, no? Yes, it is 20,000. Hair treatment, it is 20,000, right? Now this is the selling price. From this selling price, we have to deduct the direct material cost. Right? We have to deduct the direct material cost. So in the question, they have given us two kinds of direct material. If you look at the question carefully, one is, first we have to wash hair. For that we have to use some kind of cleaning products. If you look at the question, it is mentioned we have to use cleaning products. Question එකේ කියනනේ ළමයි hair එක wash කරන්න කොණ්ඩේ හොදන්න cleaning products පාවිච්චි කරනවලු. So per wash or per client, the cost of cleaning product that we are consuming is 200. These are available in the question. I read with you. 200 per client. It is 200 per client. In addition to that, if the client is going for a hair treatment, we have to use some kind of additional material. Please look at the question carefully. Question is very specific that this additional material is applicable to hair treatment only. The cost of the additional material as per the question is how much? The cost of the additional material is rupees 4,000. Additional material is not required for haircut. Now you can calculate what? From selling price we are deducting the direct material cost. When it comes to haircuts, 5,000 minus 200 means it is 4,800 rupees. And when it comes to hair treatment, 20,000 minus 200 and 4,000. How much? It is 20,000 minus 2,000 and 4,000. It is 15,800. So this is called as throughput contribution. this is called as throughput contribution. මෙන්න මේකට අපි කියනවා ළමයි throughput contribution එක කියලා, right? So this is the throughput contribution. So we should try to maximize this throughput contribution. That is the point we need to understand. We should try to maximize this throughput contribution. ඒක තමයි අපි දැන් කරන්න try කරන්න ඕනේ. But we can't maximize this throughput contribution due to the availability of what? Bottleneck resource. Due to the availability of bottleneck resource. Therefore, we have to see how much, in this case, what is the bottleneck resource? It is senior designer's time. We have to see how much time or how much resource that is required to manufacture 1 unit of this product. Bottleneck per unit. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ දැන් එක්සැම්පල් එකක් විදිහට hair cut එකක් කරන්න senior designers ලගේ time එක කොච්චර යනවද? hair treatment එකක් කරන්න hair designers ලගේ time එක කොච්චර යනවද? ඒක තමයි bottleneck requirement per unit. This is the bottleneck requirement per unit. එතකොට bottleneck resource එක විදිහට මෙතනදී මම I wrote it in general, but usually you have to take whatever the given bottleneck requirement in your examination. දැන් මෙතන senior designers ලගේ time එක තමයි bottleneck එක. hair cut වලට යනකොට ළමයි question එකේ දීලා තියෙනවා අපිට 1.10 තමයි එක hair cut එකකට senior designer allocate කරන්නේ. When it comes to hair treatment, we are allocating 2 hours in respect of senior designer's time. So this is the question. Now what can you do? දැන් බලන්න හොඳට. In order to do one haircut, we have to sacrifice 1.1 hour from our senior designer's time. When it comes to hair treatment, we have to devote or we have to sacrifice 2 hours from our senior designer's time. Now this is the bottleneck resource. Now we have to see which resource. We have to see which resource gives what. We have to see actually what we have to do. We have to see the highest contribution. We have to see what? We have to see the highest contribution or highest throughput per bottleneck unit. Okay, then in this case I will take in this way throughput per senior designer hour. Throughput per senior designer hour. Throughput per senior designer hour. Senior designer කෙනෙක්ගේ hour එකකට කොච්චර throughput එකක් යනවද? Based on that what we can do? Based on that we can do whatever the ranking. Based on that we can do whatever the ranking. Okay, මෙතන senior designer ළමයි අපේ bottleneck resource එක. දැන් බලන්න පැය 1.1ක් පාවිච්චි කරාම තමයි එක unit එකක් එන්නේ hair cut එකේ. hair cut එකක් වෙන්නේ. hair cut එකකට 4800ක් ලැබෙනවා throughput එක. එහෙනම් එක පැයකට කොච්චරක්ද බලන්න ඔයාලට මොකද කරන්න පුළුවන් ළමයි? You can divide 4800 by 1.1. You can divide 4800 by 1.1. So the answer is 4363.63. 4363. I will round up to 2 decimal places. 64. 4363.64. Right? In the same way, you can calculate the throughput per senior designer hour in respect of hair treatment. 15,800 is the throughput contribution. To earn this contribution, we have to devote 2 hours. So 15,800 divided by 2. 15,800 divided by 2. It is 7,900 per hour. It is 7,900 per hour. So this is the throughput contribution. This is the throughput contribution per bottleneck resource, or this is the throughput contribution per senior designer hour. Senior designer hour තමයි අපේ bottleneck එක. ඒ පැයකට throughput contribution එක ළමයි මෙච්චරක් අපි earn කරනවා. That's what you need to understand. That's what you need to understand. But in the question, see, දැන් මෙතනින් අපිට නවත්තන්න බෑ, because in the question it is very specific. Please see, it is very specific. Assess the type of service. GPL should prioritize for maximizing profitability using the throughput accounting ratio. Using what? Using throughput accounting ratio. You have to learn this very important ratio, which is called throughput accounting ratio. You have to learn this very important ratio which is called throughput accounting ratio. Now I am going to explain this throughput accounting ratio to you, right? I am going to explain this throughput accounting ratio to you. Okay, so I will take it here. Right, now based on this computation we can see, based on this we can see what? Based on this we can see the most profitable type of service is what? Most profitable type of service is our hair treatment, but we can't stop here because question is very specific. Question is asking us to calculate or assess this situation based on throughput accounting ratio. Throughput accounting ratio. So I will take here so that I can explain throughput accounting ratio. So throughput accounting ratio can be computed in this way. Throughput accounting ratio can be computed in this way. We can compute in this way. Return per bottleneck resource divided by return per bottleneck resource. Bottleneck resource unit will take in this way. Return per bottleneck resource unit divided by what? Divided by the total conversion cost. Divided by the total conversion cost. Total conversion cost per unit of bottleneck resource. Total conversion cost per unit of bottleneck resource. I am writing this in general, okay? Per bottleneck resource. So this is the formula for throughput accounting ratio, okay? So this is the formula for throughput accounting ratio, okay? So this is important, you should know this. Don't learn by heart, you can understand this, okay? Throughput accounting ratio එක අපි calculate කරන්නේ මෙන්න මේ විදිහට ළමයි, but you have to understand this. The very first thing is return per bottleneck resource unit. You have to first calculate the return per what? You have to first calculate the return per bottleneck resource unit. Okay? You have to calculate. We have already calculated. Then මෙතන අපේ bottleneck resource එක ළමයි, in this question our bottleneck resource is what? Our bottleneck resource is senior designers time. Senior designers ලගේ time එක. It is the bottleneck. එහෙනම් senior designer ගේ එක පැයකට අපිට කොච්චර return එකක් යනවද? We have already calculated here. That was calculated as the throughput contribution per senior designer hour. අපි දැනටමත් calculate කරලානේ තියෙන්නේ senior designer කෙනෙක්ගේ පැයකට අපිට කොච්චර throughput contribution එකක් එනවද කියලා. So we have already calculated. But we want to calculate the total conversion cost per bottleneck resource. What is mean by that? අපිට දැන් calculate කරන්න වෙනවා ළමයි total conversion cost එක. Total conversion cost in the sense we can interpret it as total factory cost or operating expenses. හැම වෙලේම ළමයි conversion cost එක කියන්නේ direct material ටික finish product එකක් බවට පත් කරන්න අපි දරන cost එක. එහෙනම් හැම වෙලේම conversion cost එක කියලා අපි consider කරන්නේ අපේ labor cost එක සහ මොකද්ද? අපේ labor cost එක සහ overhead cost. So based on that you can take the total conversion cost. Based on that what you can do? Based on that you can take the total conversion cost, and after getting the total conversion cost you can calculate the total conversion cost per unit of bottleneck resource. So let's take the total conversion cost first. I will take it here. So I will take this as a working. Okay. First I am going to calculate the total conversion cost. Please keep in mind when it comes to total conversion cost, it is equal to labor cost plus our overhead. Labor cost plus overhead. So this is the total conversion cost. Now you have to take the labor cost. When it comes to labor cost, the cost is the salary. When it comes to salary, there are three types of salary. One is salon assistant, then we have to take the senior designer, and also we do have junior designers. We do have three types of employees. Therefore, what happens? Therefore, we do have three types of salary. If you look at the question, I am not taking you to the question again. You should have the question paper with you. When it comes, if you look at the question, in the question it is clearly mentioned that monthly salary of salon assistant is 100,000. There are 4 salon assistant. Accordingly, the total monthly salary of salon assistant is 400,000. In the same way, you can calculate for senior designers as well. As per the question, monthly salary of a senior designer is 300,000. This has been given in the question, Lamai. Please look at. And also we do have 5 senior designers. So 300 into 5 in the sense, per month we have to incur a cost of 1.5 million in respect of senior designers. At the same time, we have to calculate the monthly salary cost for junior designers. Here I am taking monthly figures because at the beginning of the question I clearly mentioned to you that I am considering or focusing on monthly figures, right? So when it comes to junior designers, monthly cost is 200,000. Monthly salary is 200,000. I do have how many junior designers? I do have 3 junior designers. Accordingly, 200 into 3 means it is 600,000. Accordingly, my total salary cost is how much? 400, 1.5 and 600,000. It is effectively 2.5 million. Okay. So when it comes to conversion cost, I want to have the labor cost as well as overhead cost. Mata labor cost එකත් ඕනේ ළමයි, overhead cost එකත් ඕනේ. Now I know the labor cost. What I don't know is the overhead cost, but it has also been given in the question. You can directly take the overhead cost. From the question itself. If you look at the question, lamai question එක clearly කියනවා see. I think it is here. Other cost in operating the salon, excluding labor and raw material, amount to rupees 7.5 million each year. Please be very careful. They have given the overhead cost in terms of years. Each year. It is in each year. So what we have to do? Then we have to do what? We have to convert it into monthly figures. Okay. So yearly overhead cost is 7.5 million. We have to take the monthly overhead cost. So I am dividing this by 12. Right? I am dividing this by 12. So 7.5 million divided by 12 in the sense it is 625,000. 625,000. Now I can take what? Now I can take the total conversion cost, which is 3,125,000. Mage total conversion cost එක වෙනවා ළමයි rupees 3,125,000. 3,125,000. මෙන්න මේක තමයි මගේ business එකේ තියෙන total conversion cost එක. හැම වෙලේම total conversion cost එක කියන එකේ අදහස ළමයි හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න අපේ labor සහ overhead කියන එක. අපේ raw material finished product එකකට convert කරන්න බලපාන cost එක තමයි conversion cost කියන්නේ. එහෙනම් finished product එකකට convert කරන්න අපිට labor ඕනේ, overhead ඕනේ. අන්න ඒක නිසායි අපි ඒකට total conversion cost කියලා කියන්නේ. But our intention is not to calculate total conversion cost, but to calculate the conversion cost per bottleneck resource. Now you can calculate conversion cost per, in this case our bottleneck resource is senior designer time, conversion cost per senior designer hour. දැන් හැම වෙලේම ළමයි bottleneck එක කියන්නේ මේ question එකේ senior designer. senior designer hour එකට conversion cost එක කොච්චරද? 3.1 million, sorry, 3,125,000 is my total conversion cost. We have computed. අපි දැනටමත් compute කරා ළමයි මොකද්ද? අපි දැනටමත් compute කරා අපේ total. Please understand, we have already computed our total hours are how many hours? We have 1,000 hours in respect of senior designers. මතක ඇතිනේ? අපි calculate කරා senior designers ලා සම්බන්ධයෙන් අපිට කොච්චර කාලයක් තිබ්බද උඩ අපි calculate කරානේ. When we are calculating the time availability, I think it is up, so I am not going to. We do have 1,000 hours. Senior designers like availability ka to calculate kara. We do have how many hours? 1,000 hours. So now I am getting what? Now I am getting 3,125,000 divided by 1,000 in the sense my conversion cost per hour is rupees 3,125. රුපියල් 3,125ක් වෙනවා ළමයි එක hour එකකට. පැහැදිලිද? අපේ bottleneck resource එක වෙච්ච senior designers ලගේ hour එකට අදාළ conversion cost එක අපි calc කර ගන්නවා 3,125 කියලා. 3,125 based on this we can calculate the throughput accounting ratio. Based on this, what we can do? Based on this, we can calculate the throughput accounting ratio. I will go to the calculation here. This is a kind of working. Okay. See here, this is the throughput per senior design hour. Okay. Now we have calculated what? We have already calculated the conversion cost. We have already calculated the conversion cost per senior design hour. Conversion cost per senior designer hour. Senior designer පැයකට ළමයි conversion cost එක කොච්චරද කියලා අපි දැනටමත් calculate කරගත්තා. 3,125ක් කියලා අපිට ආවා. 3,125ක් කියලා අපිට ආවා. question එකෙන් අපෙන් අහන්නේ throughput accounting ratio එක. The question is asking us about the throughput accounting ratio. So now you can calculate the throughput accounting ratio. Now you can calculate the throughput accounting ratio. You know how to calculate this. Throughput accounting ratio එක දැන් ඔයාලට calculate කරන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමද calculate කරන්නේ? මම කිව්වා. Throughput per senior designer hour divided by the conversion cost per senior designer hour. ඒ කියන්නේ ළමයි මේකෙන් අපි බලන්නේ මොකද්ද? දැන් throughput accounting ratio එකේදී අපි බලන ප්‍රධානම දේ තමයි if I move to the formula මෙතන මේ return per bottleneck resource unit කියන එකේ අදහස තමයි අපේ question එකට දැම්මොත් throughput per what? Throughput per senior designer hour divided by total conversion cost unit of bottleneck resource. ඒ කියන්නේ senior designer hour. දැන් එතකොට ඔයා හිතන්න ඕන දේ තමයි ළමයි අපි මේ question එකෙන් මේ equation එකෙන් evaluate කරන්නේ මේ formula එකෙන් evaluate කරන්නේ අපිට ලැබෙන throughput එක bottleneck resource එකේ එක unit එකකින් ලැබෙන throughput එක ප්‍රමාණවත්ද අපේ conversion cost එක cover කරගන්න. එහෙම ප්‍රමාණවත් වෙනවා නම් විතරයි ළමයි මේ throughput accounting ratio එක. එහෙම ප්‍රමාණවත් වෙනවා නම් විතරයි අපේ throughput accounting ratio එක. Throughput accounting ratio I will take it as TAR. Throughput accounting ratio එක more than 1 වෙන්නේ. මේක හැම වෙලේම return එක වැඩි නම් ළමයි conversion cost එකට වඩා එතකොට තමයි අපි profitable වෙන්නේ. එහෙනම් මෙන්න මෙහෙම result එකක් එනවා නම් තමයි අපිට අපේ business එක profitable කියලා conclude කරන්න පුළුවන්. Clear? We are trying to maximize our profitability. So we should try to maximize our throughput accounting ratio. Throughput accounting ratio එකේ අදහස තමයි හොඳට තේරුම් ගන්න අදහස අපේ bottleneck එකේ එක unit එකකට හම් වෙන throughput එක අපි compare කරනවා total conversion cost එකත් එක්ක throughput unit එකක. එතකොට අපිට හම් වෙන throughput එක ප්‍රමාණවත්ද එක පැයකට යන මොකක් බලන්නද? එක පැයකට යන conversion cost එක බලන්න. මේකේ උඩ වැඩි වෙනවා කියන්නේ ළමයි අපිට එකට වැඩි උත්තරයක් නෙන්නේ. අන්න ඒක නිසා එහෙම වෙලාවල් වලට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ business එක profitable කියලා. Right? Now you can calculate the throughput here. Now you can do the calculation for throughput. I will take it here. So in this case, throughput per senior design hour is 4,363.64 in respect of haircut, divided by the conversion cost per senior design hour, which is 3,125. Accordingly, 4,363.64 divided by 3,125. Accordingly, my throughput ratio is how much? I will round it up to 2 decimal places, 1.4. When it comes to hair treatment, this column represents hair treatment. Throughput per senior designer hour is 7,900. This should be divided by 3,125. So my throughput accounting ratio is 2. I will take up to 2 decimal, 2.53. right? එතකොට දැන් බලන්න ළමයි මේකෙදි අපි බලන්නේ අපේ රිටර්න් එකෙන් අපිට එක සීනියර් ඩිසයිනර් අවයකට හම්බෙන throughput එකෙන් කොච්චර වතාවක් අපේ කන්වර්ෂන් කොස්ට් එක කවර් කරගන්න පුළුවන්ද? වැඩි වතාවක් කන්වර්ෂන් කොස්ට් එක කවර් කරගන්න පුළුවන් කියන්නේ අපි ප්‍රොෆිටබල්. එහෙනම් we have to do the ranking. If that is the case, we have to do the ranking based on the throughput accounting ratio. So the highest rank is given to the product with the highest throughput accounting ratio, and the second highest rank is assigned to the product with the second highest throughput accounting ratio. So this is the ranking. In addition to that, you can include a kind of sentence explaining that based on the throughput accounting ratio, the prioritization should be devoted to hair treatment. Why? It yields the highest profit. ඒකෙන් තමයි ළමයි highest profit එක හම්බෙන්නේ. මොකද throughput එක contribute කරන maximize කරන තරමට තමයි අපේ profit එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ. එක පැයකට අදාළව අපේ මෙතන තිබ්බ limited resource එක bottleneck එක තමයි මොකද්ද? senior designer hour එක. senior designer පැයකට වැඩිම throughput එකක් දුන්නේ අපේ hair treatment එක. ඊළඟට අපි තව ස්ටෙප් එකක් ඉස්සරහට ගිහින් බලනවා throughput accounting ratio එක. throughput accounting ratio එකේදී අපි බලන්නේ ළමයි අපේ පැයකට දැන් senior designer පැයකට කොච්චර throughput එකක් හම්බ වෙනවද? ඒ පැයක් ඔපරේට් කරන්න අපිට කොච්චර conversion cost එකක් යනවද? එතකොට throughput එක වැඩි වෙන්න මේ ratio එක වැඩි වෙනවා. ratio එක වැඩි කියන්නේ profitable. That's why we given the highest priority to hair treatment which has the highest throughput accounting ratio. So this is the thing you need to understand. And also one more point you have to understand when it comes to throughput accounting. If the throughput accounting ratio is greater than 1, it is a viable thing. හැම වෙලේම ළමයි ආයතනයක throughput accounting ratio එක එකට වඩා වැඩි කියන්නේ ඒ ආයතනය profitable. මොකද ඒ ආයතනයේ conversion cost එකට වඩා throughput එක වැඩි. ඒකෙන් අදහස් කරන්නේ අපි profitable කියන එක. But in this case both products are profitable, that's fine, but the thing is the product the hair treatment product is more profitable, right? So this is how you should understand throughput accounting. This is how you should understand this throughput accounting. It is utmost important for you to get through, because sometimes this can be tested at your examination. Therefore, please understand the principles of throughput accounting and how to find the bottleneck resource, and also how to prioritize your production based on the bottleneck resource. That's the thing you need to understand. And also please focus your attention on how to calculate the throughput accounting ratio. If you are comfortable with these areas, you can easily answer the question in your examination if the examiner includes a question related to throughput accounting ratio, right? So with that, I am winding up this session, and in the next session we will start with another topic.